What's up everybody, it's Not Critical here, and well, as we know, #MeToo has been a great wave in Hollywood, causing many careers to die, whether innocent or guilty, and well, Jodie Foster has decided to make her point known, and well, as we can soon see, things are going a little bit crazy. Now I'm going to end the little critical impression there, which I started really badly, and just say, really Jodie? Really? Basically, she thinks that every man over 30 should think about their part in sexual harassment. And she means these prominent men over 30 in Hollywood, although it is in every industry. But let's get to the article. Let's just see what she actually says. And can I just say, I used to really like Jodie Foster. I used to think like she was a good actress. She was in some classics. I thought she was pretty good looking when she was younger. And now I'm just disappointed. And I think she's a crazy ideologue, as you can see in here. Because this arbitrary notion that somehow men who are 29 and below have nothing to do with bad things that happen to women is just, well, it is bonkers. And apparently every man over 30 should think about their part in sexual harassment. So even the 90-year-olds who've done nothing, Jodie Foster is calling out every man over 30 to start thinking about their part amid the slew of sexual harassment allegations in recent months. The 55-year-old actress talked to USA Today about the sexual harassment scandal and how she's interested in hearing men's point of view. Oh really now? So she's interested in hearing men's point of view, but she's basically blaming all the men over 30 for the shit that's gone down, whether it's happened or not. We really are at a watershed moment, Foster said. This part has been painful. These wonderful, amazing narratives that take into consideration everybody's part in it. I'm really interested and looking forward to the men's point of view. And what comes next in terms of therapy? Really? How could you be interested in their point of view when you're basically blaming all of them, at least over 30, for the actions of a few? What have these guys done? What about the actress, I forgot her name, I think it was it McDonald? Was it Rose? I can't remember who it was, who took $100,000 to shut up about what Harvey Weinstein was doing and what he did to her, even, to basically become a bigger actress. But apparently that's okay, but most of these men, 99% of the men who work in Hollywood or other industries over 30 are apparently to blame. They have to take the blame for the actions of a few, the actions of a rich elite who covered for each other. And what about the men who were raped by women? What about the men who were raped by other men? Or the men who were raped as boys? Apparently, what, loads of other actresses kissing young lads at parties being filmed is apparently okay, but well, whatever. #MeToo feminism. It's not known for his equality now, is it? Foster added that pretty much every man over 30 has to really look and start thinking about their part in sexual harassment. So the newest generation to the oldest generation have to look into their part, and you're really interested in what these men have to say when you're already blaming them. And I agree, lots of it is unconscious, she said. When you've been in a privileged position and you haven't had to look at your part, you didn't 100% understand you were in a bubble. It's an interesting time for men. So she's blaming all men, whether or not they did it or not, for enabling these men to do what they did. How can all men over the age of 30 in Hollywood and other industries be blamed for any of this? And she could talk about privileged position. She's a millionaire, been in Oscar-winning films. She's richer than 99% of men, and yet she's saying that these over 30 men are privileged. Some of these aren't bigger stars than them, some of them don't even work as actors. They're the ones behind the scenes actually making the films, making her look good in these films, because God knows how many times she's fluffed up her lines in films. But hey, apparently they've got a part to blame, and they've got to acknowledge this privilege and acknowledge this blame, even though 99% of them did nothing wrong. McCarthyism, guys, is back. It's well and truly back. And then she speaks about her sons, ages 16 and 19, and the understanding consent that they learn in school. So I guess we can see that she's all for the consent classes, where they basically blame and shame men for being rapists and how they must be untaught this rapist behaviour. Right, okay. They go to a great school that's put them through the ringer about what consent is and what humanism is and what's integrity. I just with my generation had the benefit of that, and everybody had the benefit of that. Your generation had that. It was taught by their parents. Just because these group of psychopaths had the money to hide what they were doing to different people, and just because some of these different people consensually did some of these acts with them and covered up a lot of the shit, and then only started speaking out as victims, even though in all likelihood some were not, even though most people were, is apparently just mute. We can't talk about that. But no, apparently my generation, or the people a little bit younger than me, should be brainwashed in schools to be better human beings. Like, over 30 is such an arbitrary number. Surely it should be over 35. But again, that would be arbitrary. She's basically got a demographic and she's deciding, yeah, I don't like this particular demographic, never particularly like them, and I'm going to shit on them. But I'm interested in what they have to say. No, you're not interested. When you poison the well like this, when you muddy the waters like this and label them all as rapists, enablers, or rapists, you're not interested in what they have to say. You're not interested in the men's ability to discuss their minds. You're not interested in their point of view. You're interested in one thing: your own or women's. When we know there are male victims and we know there were female perpetrators. But you don't want to talk about that. Foster hopes that the Me Too movement, which has empowered women to come forward and shat on men who come forward about past alleged sexual misconduct by powerful men and powerful women, will bring some kind of truth and reconciliation in the future. Yes, while you're blaming every single man over 30 for enabling this shit, yes, you're definitely looking for some kind of truth and reconciliation. Right. I'm looking forward to a new millennial woman that knows that she can say no. Everybody knows that women can say no. Some of these women said yes and had the ability to say no but didn't, and they could have reported these men to the police, but they didn't. Now, of course, some of them were in positions where they couldn't because of the rich and powerful nature of some of these men. But some of these men who were victims had the whole society against them because it's not seen as possible for women to rape them. And even when they were children, they've got feminists telling them to shut up because they're demeaning female victims. Apparently, society never taught women to say no when it has, and all the sexual power has always been with women since time immemorial. A man can't get with a woman unless she says yes. In fact, you can see that in animals. But hey, whatever. Let's continue. But honestly, I think that most women want is just for it to stop, she continued. They don't really want to have a lawsuit. They don't want to have to go on CBS This Morning 400 times. They'd actually just like it to stop. And that'd be a good part. Well, the one thing to do is to go to the police, Jodie. Go to the police. But anyway, people, that's the end of the video. It's been your boy. Until next time, I'll see you all later.